oh my god, this team is so shit, so bad. Oh my god, we can't win. Ugh. Ladies and gentlemen, do not do that. If you do that, at any point in your game, you will lose the goddamn game. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm Stylosa, and this is Unit Lost. So, I've had a very interesting week of Overwatch. Now, I've been playing on the Stylosa account, which is hilariously my least played account this season. It is my lowest rated account. It is, I think it's like 3,780 or something like that. I wanted to get it to GM, right? Because, yeah, that would be nice. Get all my accounts to GM every single season. That's kind of what I want to do, and that's fine. And Stylosa is the one on the side. He's the one who, well, he hasn't really been played that much because I've been playing on my other accounts for whatever reason. Oh, I'll tell you what the reason is. A lot of the time when I play on Stylosa, I get a lot of attention, and it's a very special sort of issue to me where I have to like deal with everybody go, oh my god, is that you, Stylosa? Or you get people who get nasty to me, and I don't know why they do that, but whatever, it must make them feel big, ladies and gentlemen, who knows. Anyway, so if you go into a game and you see the team selection and you're not very happy with it because it's not a meta team comp or whatever, and then you start telling your team they are the worst thing ever, and then you leave voice chat and you do things like that, you are going to lose that game. You have a very, very high chance of losing that game, and it is crazy. So what has been happening to me recently is it very much feels like a random 50-50 roll. Will we get a team that will actually work together, or will we not get a team that works together and we lose the game? Now, you guys know I've got Overanalyze, which is a coaching series that I run, and this makes videos, it coaches people across all tiers of the game, and there is a very eye-opening thing, a very eye-opening trend that you see across these videos, and it is that people are actually pretty good at this game, but they get nowhere in the ladder. They get nowhere, they don't rank up, they get stuck at a certain tier. People will send me tales of woe. Oh, Sty, can you please help me? I'm a Platinum Hanzo and I can't seem to get any further. And I watched the clip and I'm like, the reason you're a Platinum Hanzo is because you're playing Hanzo into an enemy team that is completely countering the Hanzo. You've got to swap the Hanzo, yet the player is a fantastic player. I mean, hell, there was the Bronze Hanzo I did a while ago on the channel, and that player had very good accuracy, very good aim. There's been loads of players. In fact, what I like to do is put my hand over the bottom corner of the screen and try and guess what rank these players are. It's actually pretty difficult. Yeah, sure, at the very lowest tiers of the game, you can kind of tell if it's a bronze level game because people will be in weird positions and all of that stuff. But a lot of the time, it's very interesting. And I'm telling you right now, guys, there are players who are better than me who are stuck in Platinum, stuck in Diamond, because they do not play this game how it's meant to be played. And this is what's really frustrating for me when I play on the Stylosa account, because, and I know you guys are probably sitting there going, Sty, you're off your tits, my man. This Stylosa account, it's still like above mid-masters. It's not like, that's hardly any of the population of the game is there. Most people are in Platinum and below. So what are you talking about? The game's just be better there, but they're not, right? I've played this game. Well, I've got a Grandmaster level account that I play on quite often. The games that I get on that account are just as good, right, as the games that I get on all my other accounts. But there's one major difference, right? It's not that the players are way better, because honestly, I don't think they are. What they do, though, is they change the team to counter the enemy, and they're very flexible based on their picks at the start of the game. Now, a lot of games are lost instantly at the moment you load into the game. You'll see people insta-lock in heroes, and that's fine, right? I do this. I'll insta-lock Soldier in because I want to play Soldier, because I know I'm the most effective with Soldier, and I know that I've got a proven track record on my own of getting Soldier to 4.2k and above just playing Soldier, right, as my main hero. And I don't mean just playing him whatever, like I will swap, right? If we need a tank, I will play that Reinhardt if we need it, if other people on the team won't swap. However, at the GM level, this is generally pretty fine. People will just work around it and it'll be great. But on the Stylosa account, what I'll get is people that will say, give me the Soldier. Like, they'll flat out say to me, get off the Soldier, give me the Soldier. And I'm thinking, okay, so, right, first of all, the way that person has asked me is actually pretty bad. Now, I'm not going to use any voice clips, and I'm also not using any footage in the background on this video for to give, like, to name and shame people, because I don't think that's a good thing, because who knows what's going on in people's lives and all that stuff. Maybe they've had a bad day, that's why they're being particularly arsey on Overwatch, who knows. But if you come up to me and say, get off that Soldier, give it me, right? I'm thinking, okay, what I'm thinking is, alright, I'll give that person Soldier because obviously they think they can do something with the Soldier, whatever, I'll play a different hero. You want people on their stronger heroes generally. But most people, because we're all human, right guys, would go to this guy, kiss my arse. Why are you telling me to get off Soldier? I'm a good Soldier, so I'm playing Soldier. Who do you think you are? Then that player has a completely like opposite reaction to that and just starts, well, has the same reaction I suppose, and just goes, oh whatever, I'm going to play Torbjorn. Now I've seen this happen a hell of a lot in my games, and it is very frustrating because I'm trying to be like a mediator. I'm trying to be the guy on the voice, and I'm going, guys, it's okay, just swap the team comp. You know, I can play this. Does anybody want the soldier? I'll take the Anna if you like, guys. I'll play the Lucio or whatever. But in those games, I lose, right? And it's really bloody annoying to lose in those games because I'm trying my best to keep this team together. But all that's going on is people are just like, I want to play this hero. If you don't give it me, then you can kiss my arse, right? But where is all of this coming from? There has to be a cause for this. It's not just like people are just doing it because they're, you know, they just want to do it. I reckon this is the cause, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what we've got to try and combat as like a community. When I play soldier, I know I can have a good impact on the game. If somebody else wants to take the soldier, or somebody locks him in before me or whatever, and maybe I'm left with the Reinhardt role, or, you know, another role, like maybe I'm on the Lucio or something like that. But let's stick to Reinhardt because that's a better example. And then you start playing through that game, and you'll start noticing things happening, and you'll even say to yourself, oh my god, I'm doing nothing. Like, I need to be on DPS here, right? I can't just be standing here on Reinhardt. But you know your team need the Reinhardt for whatever. Let's say you're on King's Row attack and you want the Reinhardt to just push in, or the Winston or whatever. You know you need that, but you also know that nobody's getting any picks, nobody's getting any kills, and you know that you could do that if you were playing on the soldier, or at least you think you could do that, right? So this makes you like inwardly toxic, and you start to get really frustrated, and when you lose that game, we now know, because of the way SR is calculated, if you're playing heroes that you don't generally play, you won't really perform as good as people at the same MMR range who play that hero, so you'll actually get punished more for trying to be more flexible, rather than if you just stuck on your hero and didn't really care what people were doing, which is not a great system, but whatever. You still need to flex. Like, I wholeheartedly recommend you've got to flex and you've got to fill those roles. But yeah, you become toxic, right? Because what happens is, you've lost that game and you sit there thinking, well, I literally did nothing there, but if I was on soldier, I would have had a great game. This guy on soldier was crap. Now, you don't know that, but you can feel that way. So then you go into the next game, and if it happens again, you become more and more tilted, and then you might start being really toxic to your team, and it's highly frustrating. Now, if we just go back to a little bit earlier on in this video, and I said I played with GM players. Well, I've also played with top 500 players. Like, one of my accounts is very lucky to be in a position where I can play, and there will be top 500 players in that game as well. And again, there's not really that much difference. The difference between a top 500 player and the rest of the ladder is they generally are the best at whatever heroes they play, right? They're in the top 500 for a reason. They're not lucky, they're good. They'll have amazing accuracy, they'll be, you know, have amazing game sense or whatever. But more often than not, they're willing to work with the team, and that's how they got there. But all of the other Grandmaster population, which, remember guys, this is under 1% of the game, I don't think a GM player is particularly that much better than like a high platinum player or a diamond player in terms of mechanical ability. What they are better at is working with their team and knowing that if they're playing Widowmaker, right, and the enemy team have picked a Winston to kill the Widow, they'll swap off the Widow and get a soldier or get a McCree or get some other type of DPS to deal with the Winston. That's what makes those players GM, and what hopefully makes them high master players. Because what I'm noticing on the Stylosa account, because like I said, it's like 3.7k, you'll get people who just play Widow, right? Or they'll just play Torbjorn, or they'll just play Bastion. You get these very weird sort of picks, and they just play them regardless of whatever's going on. You look at their profiles. I mean, there was a guy, a Torbjorn player I played with, and his highest that season was 3.8 something, right? So that's a pretty good rating. Let's be honest, that's not terrible. But he's playing Torbjorn against an enemy team which is just diving on him and killing him over and over again. And I'm thinking, Torb, why don't you change? But if I said to that guy, can you change? Obviously he can't, because all he does is plays Torbjorn, and that's where those players become stuck. This is where, if you're a meta player, so if you play like a Tracer, or you play a Soldier, or Farah, you could say she's in the meta right now, and other heroes like that, if you become really good with those heroes, it's kind of okay to play them whatever the situation. Where some other heroes that are very situational, like a Symmetra for example, not so much. But again, if we go back to the way the SR system works, we know that these very strange picks like the Torbjorns, like the Symmetra mains and all of that, which are played every single game, that they generally don't lose that many points when they lose a game, because, well, they're normally performing better than the average Torbjorn or Symmetra generally performs. That's why they tend to stay in and around their level, which... is that fair or what? I don't know. Overwatch is a game about flexing, but what I want to stress in this video is please do not be the guy who goes into a game and demands somebody swaps their hero because you want to play it and says it negatively to them. Maybe suggest, guys, oh, look at my profile, guys. I've got like a 67%, well, actually a 69% win rate on Soldier. Can I take Soldier? You know, I might be I might be able to do some work, you know, or something like that. That's a fine argument. If they say no, then that's cool. You just go, okay, whatever, and you just try and fill, and you try and do your best. The final thing I want to end this video on is do not throw the game as well. Do not give up. This is a really annoying thing to me. People who just blame the team and give up. There is always something you can do in Overwatch to have an impact on the game. Yes, you might have more of an impact on certain heroes, but if you just give up, that is the worst thing ever. My nature is to be quite competitive. I used to play football at a decent level. If any of you guys know English football, I used to play for a team called Port Vale, and I used to play for West Brom. This was a couple of years ago before West Brom were in the Premier League and whatnot. So I probably could have been like a lower tier sort of professional player if I carried on. If I didn't get ill, I probably could have carried on with that. But that taught me that you don't give up, because there would be moments in games where you might be 1-0 down and there's 3 or 4 minutes to go. You can easily score 2 goals and win the game. And the same happens with Overwatch. There will be games of Overwatch that you guys have played in. These are probably the best games where it has been very close, or you've maybe managed to do a reverse sweep on a King of the Hill map. They feel absolutely awesome. And the only reason you've done that is because the team have pulled together. And it's not magic rocket science, Overwatch isn't. It's a simple game, really. Your team will win more if your team builds a correct team that works together. You know, on the basic level, you're looking at like 2 healers, possibly 2 tanks, and the rest of DPS, or 1 tank, 3 DPS, 2 healers, you know, something like that. Just working together as a team, calling out targets, and just not being toxic to each other. It would be very interesting to me to be able to perform this experiment, but there's no way I could, because the system is always going to calibrate me to sort of like mid-master whenever I do placement games. But it would be very interesting to play the game at a lower level, let's say silver, right, and just work on communication and see how effective that makes you. I challenge you guys out there that are in silver, that are in bronze, that are in platinum, that are in diamond, to just try and be a bit positive, right, to your team, and just try and work with them, not against them. Remember, they're on your team. You've got to work with them. If you're being toxic to them, if you're being negative to them, if you're attacking them because you think it's a bad pick or whatever, then you're not going to win. Like, imagine if somebody picks a Bastion on attack, right? What are you going to do there if you're the tank player, right? And you pick Winston, and you're thinking, right, well, we were going to go for a dive comp, but now Winston's not going to work too great because we've got this guy who wants to play Bastion. You've got 2 options. The first one is you say to this guy, get off the Bastion, right? And then he just blocks and mutes you, or he tells you to F off because he's playing Bastion. Your other option, though, is to swap that Winston to a Reinhardt and sit on the payload with the Bastion as it moves forward. You might be surprised how effective it can be, and that's what, honestly, 50, 60, 70% of Overwatch is about. Winning the battle with your own team. You have to work with them. Pick a team comp that works, and then you will just get better. Anybody can get to Grandmaster. It's not some sort of, you need to be an awesome gamer to do it. Yeah, you need to have some sort of skill to do it, but you don't need to be top 500 level. You just need to be an Overwatch player. Ladies and gentlemen, I've been Stylosa from This Is Unit Lost. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below, because this has been frustrating me recently quite a lot, with people just claiming teams are shit and then they don't want to play. And there's a whole load of reasons for this, and if you guys can think of any other reasons, stick them in the comments below, because it would be interesting to do a follow-up video on this. Alright guys, you can follow me on Twitter, which is @UnitLostGaming, which is probably the best place if you do want to send me some you know, stuff, nice messages. I'd like that, yeah. Alright guys, I'll catch you on the next one. Toodaloo.